Welcome to episode 3 of the Squat Cam Adventures. I'm having an absolute blast, I just gotta say that, and I have made so much progress from episode 2 to episode 3, and that's why this episode has just taken a little bit longer than I would have liked optimally to have out. I'm thinking around 1 to 2 weeks is an optimal length per episode, so I apologize. I know there's been a lot of you waiting for the progress update, but let's just get right into it. So let's click on the skills tab. Now, there's a lot to cover, and I am going to go over everything we've done, but as you guys can tell, we have surpassed 1,000 total level, and there are some really juicy stats. Fishing and agility are the most high up there. Now, on episode 2, I was just starting the Wintertodt grind, and I think I was around level 60. Well, I went all the way to level 90, and they were all done through solos. So I was able to get not only 90 fire making through all the solos, but also go all the way to 60 fletching, 60 woodcutting, and 55 construction. All of this construction right here was all through repairing the braziers, which was absolutely juiced. So I want to show you guys what I got from Wintertodt. We did get the Tome of Fire, and we got it literally right before the drop rate. I think it was like 990. 14 big searches. Oh! Let's go! Let's fucking go. Right before rate. Right before rate. Oh my god. Let's fucking go! Oh my god, yes. And we got it. And I was so happy because my goal was to get just to 90 fire making, but as I approached it, I realized I really did want a Tome of Fire, and I wanted to take advantage of it, especially with the Fire and Ice giant bosses coming out very soon. I believe that's coming out with Varlamore Part 3, if I'm not mistaken. So as I was approaching 90 fire making, I was thinking, okay, well, I really got to get this Tome of Fire, so maybe I'll continue on a little bit longer. 90 was just a nice stopping point in my head because it allows you to complete all the diaries. It's a nice base level, and it doesn't get you straight to 99 because there is still a part of me that wants to hold off on getting my first 99 and maybe wait until construction or crafting. I just think that those two skills either one of those would be so cool to have as an untrimmed cape. Now, again, this account is all about fun. Nothing is set in stone. It's all clay. I can, mold it however I want, but that is still kind of the plan. I want to get some really cool untrimmed capes. So getting the Tome of Fire right before 90 was absolutely amazing. I still can't even wield it, believe it or not. It does require 50 magic. So I've been really slacking on that. But yeah, I was very happy to complete that grind. It was pretty chill. Solo Wintertodt is genuinely a blast. I have a guide that I made if you guys are interested. It's actually very fun, and it's very rewarding. It was nice. So after all the solo Todd, I started doing some wilderness agility. Now, as you guys can see, I did hit 82 agility, and I sent a few runs out just trying out the agility or the wilderness agility course, and many people were recommending it. They did say, however, it is pretty risky, especially at a low level. I went out there at like level 39 combat, which is relatively safe, but if you find somebody, you're pretty much gonna die if they know what they're doing. If they don't, there were a few times I was able to evade them. I was able to hide behind a little like pile of bones behind a skeleton, because they're skeletons that are aggressive, and if the player attacks you and he's not right next to you, it can be a little bit weird for him to actually get to you because you can't go opposite on the agility course. So like he would have to run around all the way to find me. But there were a few times I died. There were a few times that I managed to escape with the loot. And those 2 times I was able to pull just about a mil each. And that's really, really nice for the early level grind. So just within I don't know, I think it was like 70 some laps, and I was able to cash out like 1.1 mil of just pure alks, which is just insane. Plus all the wilderness supplies like the blighted restores and the blighted food. So it was pretty sketchy though. You do have to pay 150k raw GP just to start getting rewarded. So it is pretty high risk at a low level, and losing 150k can be pretty devastating. And on top of that, if you do die with a bunch of loot in your looting bag, not only do you lose the 150k, but you lose all the loot you were just obtaining. So it was pretty bad. The rest of the agility I did was just through Paul Niche, but I also did the biggest fishing grind I have ever done on an account. So as you guys see, I did grind to 91 fishing, almost exclusively through Barbarian fishing. So I started off, as soon as you hit 48 fishing, you can go to the Barbarian fishing, and I really wanted to squeeze out a bunch of strength, agility, and cooking levels, and I was able to manage 66 strength from 30, and I was also, I believe, 15 cooking, and I got to 65 cooking all through Barbarian fishing. Plus, I was able to squeeze out a few agility levels. I think I almost managed to get to 78. Now, keep in mind, I had already done a bunch of agility, but squeezing out those additional levels just so I wouldn't have to do as much Paul Niche and just move on to Rellekka quickly was pretty damn nice. And I did a little bit of minnows. So in my food tab, you can see I did catch around 1,000 or 1,100 raw sharks, which is pretty nice. I will cook these in the future. I've also kind of taken a step back from my original goal, which was to do cabin fever pretty quickly. I realized cabin fever actually does have some pretty decent requirements, and I'm not really prepared to do that. So we'll cover that in a second. I do have my future goal segment that I want to talk to you guys about, but the cooking XP will go hard. I will still do some trouble brewing for my cooking XP in the future, but having some raw food is just gonna be really nice, and sharks are great. So after that, I grinded to 82, and we're almost 83 agility at the Rellekka rooftops, and my plan is to get to 85. 85 is going to allow me to not only have the diary requirement if I get a summer pie, so that is the highest diary requirement, or the highest agility level you need for any diary, which is really nice. So that is kind of the plan. I'm chipping away at it pretty quickly, to be fair. We're almost already 83, so 2 more levels. 85 will be kind of the stopping point. So there's 2 shortcuts in the DKs later that I showed off. That is the main reason I want to get 85, but the diary requirement is also nice. Also, I was able to grind to over 100 quest points. So all of these quests that I've done have pretty much just been like the low level quests, the ones that don't require anything really, just getting them done. So one of the big quests that I wanted to get out of the way was Shadow of the Storm. Shadow of the Storm pumped me from 1 range to 28 range. There we go, we did it. Oh, 1 to 27 ranged. It's too good. Actually, I think it was 27. I just shot some cows or something. I don't even know what I killed. I killed something to be able to equip my bone crossbow, because the bone crossbow does require 28. And as soon as I hit 28 ranged, I went directly to shamans using the Red X method, where you can have 2 alts standing underneath the shamans, and it allows an account to not have to use the Zerishan's armor, and you can, or the Shazian armor, and you can just basically kill them freely. Now at 28 range with a bone crossbow, this was like pathetically slow. I think it took me like 12 minutes to kill my first shaman, but it sped up over time, and I did get my Xerix talisman, which is nice, and eventually I do want to get my Dragon Warhammer. However, the kills were so painfully slow, even getting into like the 40 range level, that I decided I'm gonna leave here, get to 50 ranged first, and I got 50 range through just some other things. I was able to grind a rune scimitar, and the reason I wanted a rune scimitar was because I wanted to kill some Scurrius a little bit faster. I was using a mystic earth staff. You're not getting it because you're not enjoying the journey enough and too much of a rush for it. You're right. I need to ease off. I like attacking these. I'm down to do this eternally. All right, that works, boys. That's what we needed to do. All right, we got it, boys. Just under 2 X-ray. We'll take that shit. I just want to show you the stats here of the mystic staff that I had been using compared to a rune scimitar. So I was very surprised. This earth staff has 40 crush and 50 melee strength. However, it is a 3-second speed. I wish it would just say 5-tick speed. That would just be so much easier, I feel like. And then the rune scimitar is actually 44. It's got minus 6 on the melee strength. But it does have a little bit more slash accuracy. And it is, of course, faster, and speed means so much. So this is significantly better DPS. And I did grind that out as Zami Warriors, able to get just almost 51 range. Now, this allows me to complete Animal Magnetism. It allows me also to equip better range gear. I was just rocking some camo armor and stuff. It was really bad. But I did Holy Grail and Dragon Slayer 1 in order to get 40 defense, basically from 1. I mean, those 2 quests will pump you from 1 defense to like 39. It's insane. So now I'm able to wear green D-hide. When I go back to Shamans, I'm probably going to do a little bit more Scurrius first. I've only had 3 kills, and they're just incredibly slow. Holy shit, that was a battle. Please, Spine. All right, well, you know what? We'll take the fucking shield. 10 minutes for that. That was a literal, like, prayer flicking fest for 10 minutes. That's harder than any shit you'll ever do on any account that's pimped out. Like, this was a battle to the death. I had 3 prayer points left. Like, fucking A, dude. But as soon as I get a Scurrius Spine, I got a U short bow from a medium clue, which is what you attach the Scurrius Spine to make the bone bow. And that bone bow allows you to get like 70, probably at this level, at level 50 range, you're probably getting about 70k range XP an hour killing Scurrius, which is insane. I don't know where I would stop at Scurrius, but eventually I want to go back to Shamans, grind out a bunch of range levels through Shamans just to get my range pretty high. And then in the future, when my range is high enough, I actually want to go to Saradomin. That's actually one of the plans I want to do. So Saradomin has kind of been lingering in my head. I'm like, okay, Sarah could be pretty badass. And the reason is because 1, you get an ACB. ACB could be used for a low level Infernal Cape, which I would love to go get. And it also would give me an SGS. I would actually grind out Sarah, I think, all the way until I get a completed SGS, so all the Godsword shards included, and an ACB, and see how many Sarah swords I can get, because using 140 LMS points, you can buy a Saradomin's tier, which pimps out your Sarah sword. It consumes the Sarah sword and gives you 10,000 charges with the Blessed Sarah sword, which is the golden one. And at this stage in the account, it would be insane to rock a Blessed Sarah sword. Not only is it really good DPS, but it's also a slash and a crush weapon, which means that I could use that weapon out in the wilderness. It's a 1 item. I don't have to risk a Dragon Defender potentially if I'm meleeing tasks. And I would probably do some Wilderness Slayer to chip away at those early Slayer levels. And just having an SGS would be fucking insane. But on top of that, rocking a Saradomin sword and grinding out my Voidwaker that way could be really cool. The Voidwaker is still kind of a grind up in the air. I'm going to see how I enjoy Wilderness Slayer. One of the problems with any sort of wilderness content is it's hard for me to stream it. It just feels like it's not something I want to be doing live. I will get some players that are targeting me on stream, and it's just not going to be a great time, but who knows. And with the wilderness bosses, there are also the multi variants, which I could do, and we could have some like little stream events where we all go out there and, you know, kill the wilderness bosses together, which could be really fun. By the way, go drop a follow down on Twitch, and if you guys want to watch my live coverage on YouTube, you can as well. I pretty much am streaming on YouTube and Twitch all the time, so go drop a follow if you guys prefer Twitch. But yeah, that is pretty much the plan. And then, of course, the early Infernal Cape would be absolutely amazing to do. The Dragon Warhammer obviously is amazing, but that also unlocks the ability to go to Grardor and grind out full Bandos, which would be so badass. I would love to do the classic melee method. I would love to just be able to go there with sacks of potatoes and learn to tick eat a little bit better. I'm a little bit rusty on that method. I think playing like a maxed Iron Man for so long, when you do content with max gear and max stats, it just becomes very just easy, and you don't really need to try that hard. I mean, even something like Saradomin, when you have a T-bow or a Bofa, you really don't even need to like prayer flick. On this account, I will 100% need to be prayer flicking while I'm killing Sarah. With Grardor and potentially with Zami in the future, I will be doing the melee methods, and those are just brutal. And I think they're going to be a lot of fun, but I will be failing a bit. I'm probably going to practice on save using some really shitty gear. But that's a grind I'm very much looking forward to. I want to also just cover the bank really quick before I end this update. So 17 mil is how the bank value is looking. We did get full pyro, of course. We got full anglers as well. I forgot to mention that for the fishing grind, which was, it was all right. I think we got it like 2 games before raid. I think it was like 46 games for that, which wasn't too bad. Bought a bunch of bone bolts for the future. The runes are looking nice. I can finally start making some dueling rings and some games necklaces, which is great. Xeric talismans coming in clutch. I also built 2 portals in my POH, one to the Salve Graveyard to get to Mauritania easier, and one to Draenor Manor. I felt like that was a pretty good telly to get just before you get glories. I could also just use the Necklace of Passage. That's also pretty helpful. Let's see. Yeah, I got some more random event clothing, which is pretty irrelevant, but it's there. And just some of the resources. We haven't really gotten on it too hard. These are some of the herbs I got from Wintertodt. Some seeds I got from Wintertodt. The Marks of Grace are looking crazy. Still gonna cash in these Brimhaven vouchers and tickets. So that, I don't know. I kind of have to complete Karamja Medium in order for me to feel good about cashing those in. But who knows? Maybe if we're getting really, really close to 85, I'll just cash them in at the lower value. And I'm holding on to these 2 clues mainly because I can't really do hards and elites quite yet. I did the holiday event as well, so you know, got the little Santa hat rocking. Pretty nice. So a lot of stuff coming in. Pretty excited about the progress. Again, I'm streaming all this progress, so go follow me if you guys want the live updates and everything. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, everybody, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Peace.